I've grown up people always saying that I look different or I'm peculiar in some kind of a way. And so that has always made me feel like I make people uncomfortable. First of all, I feel like this is a very interesting topic because when you look at violence, most of us, we've had to learn when we were older that some of the things that you undergo through are some types of violence. And so this is something that most of us, we have to deal with on a daily basis, including, for example, today, when we were coming and someone just stopped me at the middle of town to ask me if I'm a woman or I'm a man, like something like that. And at times they can come in terms of questions, which at times you feel that they can be out of curiosity or not. But some of the things that, or some of the experiences that we go through or that you go through on a daily basis, and at times you're not sure, it's also really nice for us to have them as part of the conversations, because I feel like in the society that we live in, something as simple as, I don't know why I'm calling it simple, but something as small as a whistle or a catcall when you walk in, at times it feels like it's something so kawaida, like something so general, which when you look at it, you don't see it as something big until maybe, for example, you read on it, or you are involved in a conversation and you start hearing these kind of things come up. And it has been also really interesting now for me to start having these kind of conversations, because I had an experience, I think it was back in 2013, that at the moment, actually, it made me so angry at the society. And that was, there was a time I was, at that time, I think I was in college. And I went to town so that I can get a few supplies. And so on my way back, I've grown up people always saying that I look different or I'm peculiar in some kind of a way. And so that has always made me feel like I make people uncomfortable. And so I started learning this from a very young age, because when you could go to the market and maybe you're trying to get a shoe and someone is asking you, are you a boy or a girl? Like, what kind of a shoe I'm going to get you? So you start realizing that there's something about you that this other person sees that maybe you at the time you're not seeing. So when that happened, it took me back to that time, and I started asking myself, is there something that I could have done? Like, for example, during that one experience, when I went to town and I did what I had to do, and I was coming back, and when I was in that on that stage, because it was on a public space, some people did gang up on me and started asking me questions like, you're the one who is stealing our wives and some kind of a thing. I don't know why people think people can be stolen, but anyway. That experience, of course, I went to the police, even if I didn't know how to report it, because I was not sure why that happened. And so when I went to the police and they asked me, what ati unafikiria utakosa kuchapwa kwa sababu ya nini, like, what do you think, why do you think they beat you up? And I was like, I have no idea. I mean, that's your job. You're supposed to be looking maybe for those answers. Ata mimi sijui. So and they started actually having fun about it. And at that time I was really in pain and I was really, really injured. But I didn't know what else to do. So of course I ran out of there. Nikaenda home, I took care of myself, because at that time I was in campus, so nilikuwa nakaa kwa hostel. So After that experience, and I had another very close experience to that with the hospital, where a nurse came and called out my name and started telling everyone to come see and asking, do you see a boy or a girl? Jina yenye iko hapa, it looks like a girl, but whoever this is looks like a boy, ama sijui what this is. And they started discussing about it, and actually I was sick. So I also went home untreated. That was also the first time I was experiencing that. So shortly after that experience, I experienced this with the police, and I knew I could not go to the hospital, and I knew I could not report. And it was so scary because that was the first time I got attacked because of how I looked. But eventually I started learning, or I was really bitter. And so because of that, I of course formed a psychosocial support group with some of the people that I found out at that time that we had the same experiences. But now learning more about violence has actually made me want to have more conversations about this. I also feel like when you get to learn, or when you get to get more information, you also learn something about yourself with each and every thing that you're able to consume. And I also feel like we have spaces where we can be able to do that now. And even if not everyone is able to access these spaces and this information, and at times you may be privileged, it's really nice to always show people that what are some of the right steps you should follow so that you can be able to get help. So I'll give, let me say, two perspectives. One is, if, for example, you're in the movement or you're in a certain organization, there is always, like, given a perspective on an organization that I run, I know we do have peer educators who are in the community, and also they are actually readily available because they are not like people who are, let me say, in the closet. They are people who are well known in the community, and also because again they were volunteered by the community. So these people are able to take up your let me say your case and refer you through the referral. Now that's where you can be able to get to the necessary people that can get help for need to you. If not, you can go to the hospital and you can get a direction on how you can acquire P3 from the police, and with that, now that's where your case starts. But also I find it that it's really helpful for you to always have someone next to you, because at that time I feel like usually very traumatized at times to even go through the processes, because they are very relieving. Like, for example, ukitwa na daktari, you have to go and explain all over again what happened. When you go to the police, you have to again explain all over again what happened. So it always helps to have someone close, someone who can be able to support you through that.